So we have an article here from Fox News. Georgia voters enraged after Democrats promised $2,000 checks and it becomes 1,400. And even though this is from Fox, it tends to be when they're not doing political commentary that their facts are pretty straight. So let's see. Warnock and Ossoff made it a point to endorse exclusively $2,000 checks. A lot of people in my district voted blue in the runoffs for two main reasons. One, Loeffler and Perdue are pieces of shit. And two, they want $2,000 checks. So basically, what they're saying here is that, did I say 2,000? I meant 2,000 total. It's 2,000 on top of the 600 you got last, was it November or December? Like so long ago. So basically, yeah, voters in Georgia are fuming. So this is from Bernie Sanders' op-ed in CNN. The Senate's 60 vote threshold to pass major legislation has become an excuse for inaction. But let's be clear, we have the tools to overcome these procedural hurdles. As incoming chairman of the Senate Budget Committee, I will use a process known as budget reconciliation to allow us to pass comprehensive legislation with only 51 votes. So basically what's happening here is the Democrats never expected to win in Georgia. So now that they do, and they actually have to get $2,000 checks for like $2,000, bro. I didn't say $2,000. I mean 1,400. And not only do I mean 1,400, I meant I need bipartisan support. How come you only need bipartisan support when it's something you don't want to do? The Republicans are like, bipartisan, bro. Fuck you. It's always 51 votes for the Republicans. So basically, with the process of budget reconciliation, you can add on a new spending bill, and it's not going to be a comprehensive relief legislation, but basically you're going to get what Bernie says in here: $2,000 direct payments, unemployment, et cetera, et cetera. So you can do that, but they don't want to do it, bro. They don't want to do it because they never expected to win. So what do you think about that?
I think this is to be expected from neoliberal corporatist candidates. Ossoff and Warnock aren't that great. They're better than the Republicans, but they're not that great. And honestly, I wasn't very hopeful that they were actually going to keep their promise, because I think we expect this from moderate Democrat candidates, you know.
But why do you think they're so concerned? I
Uh,
like I don't mentally understand that besides being bought out, but who are they bought out by? Like, there's no
I don't know. They
legitimate
just got
reason.
there.
There's no legitimate reason to say 1,400 instead of 600. It's not their money.
Yeah,
It's just the American people's money. In fact, it's the taxpayers' money going back to them essentially.
no,
So
I don't understand either.
so I understand why the Republicans have a big a big deal with it, because like they're always the ones about like deficit spending, and they want to save
You
money
know,
for their war program and stuff. But why? But why the Democrats? Why don't they want to give people $2,000? That's why they got elected in the first place.
they're just not good people. I don't know. They might make the same arguments like, "Oh, but that costs so much money."
But it actually doesn't cost that much money because it's only for people. It's only for single people who make less than $75,000 a year, or couples that make less than 150,000 total.
Yes.
So that's like less than 80% of the population. If you
Yeah.
do the math on that, that's like a 300 billion, $400 billion bill.
Yes.
And we've already passed $1 trillion pieces of legislation that don't have diddly squat
Yep.
in terms of checks in it. So, maybe you're like, oh, 200 billion, $300 billion is a lot of money. It's not a lot of money when it already came from the people. So I don't understand why we're not doing these $2,000 checks right now. And I
I
don't
don't know.
understand why they care so much about getting bipartisan support. What's the point?
There's
What's
no
the point?
point.
They only want to do that because they don't want to do it.
No, but why don't they want to? Are they bought out already?
I don't know. This is so curious to me. Because other things is really really obvious when people are corrupt.
Yeah.
But there's no good reason to do this. There's no good
Um.
reason to want bipartisan support unless you're virtue signaling or something like that.
Well, they must be. I don't know. Did Ossoff and Warnock step foot in D.C. and all of a sudden they just got swarmed by I don't know, people that's just like, here, take my money to not do good things.
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, there were sermons where Warnock, back when he was a reverend, was advocating for universal health care, and now he won't even keep his promise on $2,000 checks, which is severely less consequential. Some people would argue it's way easier for him to support. So I know he's been corrupted already, even back from his pastor days.
Nope. And Biden says that he wants to get a bailout by March. Dude, that's like 2
March.
months away.
Yeah, by March. Well, COVID's still gonna be going strong. He knows it. So
Well, it needs to happen right now. People need money right
does.
now. And
It
the
does.
strange part is that they're like, oh, we can't afford it. We can't be deficit spending. It's gonna boost the economy. You
Yeah.
put money back into the pockets of working class American people. They're not gonna put it in Swiss bank account or invest in a random stock. They're going
Yeah.
to be spending it. They're going to be paying their rent. They're going to be paying for food. They're going to be paying for
True.
basic necessities. It's
Mhm.
going back into the economy.
True.
Whereas they have no problem with giving tax cuts to the rich, the 1% point to
None.
0.1%.
No, they
And
can
all
be
that all happens with that
bipartisan,
money
yeah.
is it sits in a Swiss bank account.
Yeah, and they
So
get bipartisan
how is that
support for
boosting the
that,
they say it's boosting the economy because that's trickle down.
which is
What
doesn't
about
work,
trickle
it's
what about
proven.
trickle middle? You never
None.
trickle it up, you never trickle it down. It just starts in the middle and stays in the middle.
What about trickle middle? That's really good. I don't know.
That's the
The only
no
thing
economic plan, trickle middle.
that's a lot better than Reaganomics. The only thing I can think of is that there must be something in it for them to go back on their word.
But what is in it? We need to know these
Um,
things.
I don't know. Would it happen to us if we got elected? Would we go and immediately get corrupted like AOC within 2 years? Just not even vote on
See,
Medicare for all?
that's why I never want to become a politician on the national stage.
Yeah,
On the local level, maybe like there's not that much
true.
to get corrupted
But,
by.
well,
But
something must happen, bro. I mean, Bernie kind of fought it for a while.
well, I mean, but he has massive cojones.
That's true. You don't think
See,
we
the
do?
thing is, like, we have no balls. So even though I like, it's not hypocritical for me to go after politicians
True.
because I admit that I would not be the least corrupt person there. But
Yeah.
looking at this from an outside perspective, we only want to elect non-corrupt people,
True.
right? So just saying that I don't have the willpower to be a politician doesn't mean we have to elect people who also don't have the willpower.
True. No,
We need to
that's
elect
definitely
people that
true.
do have the willpower and do have big cojones.
Well, they don't have a shot, man. Betsy Sweet didn't have a shot. Charles Booker didn't have a shot.
Yeah, because people are stupid.
People so stupid. I mean, props to AOC. She lasted like a year before she got corrupted. It took Ossoff and Warnock less than a day. So good for them.